All right, what is going on, everybody? Jonathan Farrell with the Two Mortgage Guys team. I got my co-host, Daniel Garcia.
How's it going, everybody?
And we are wrapping up season 1 of our podcast. I can't believe we've already hit 15 episodes. It feels like we just started.
And we just got word from the producers of the network. We're getting renewed for a second season.
Season 2! Illuminati.
It's coming.
It's coming. Yeah, we need the rap horn. Can we add rap horn?
We can add
We can add rap horn. All right, so a couple things that we're seeing in the mortgage industry, segueing in here real quick. A couple things. Rates have dropped pretty substantially. A lot of our things that we're quoting right now, I mean, FHA CalHFA getting just down payment assistance, no closing cost assistance, is at like 3.375%, which is insane.
Yeah, we're consistently quoting in the threes for many products. I mean, it was already a good time to buy, but it's gotten even better. Hopefully get yourself in a position, stretch yourself, do something, because it's such a good time. Prices are still reasonable. Rates are phenomenal.
Can't beat it right now.
Get off the fence.
Get off the fence. Get in the gate.
That's right.
Yes, we need to have more of like a peanut gallery section.
And if you're even
So no, but I mean, we're excited about that.
Yep.
I mean, obviously the Fed news came out. It has an indirect cut on our rate, which we love. It's going to continue to get better. At least that's what it seems. We don't have the crystal ball. Otherwise, we'd be telling people's fortunes other than, quoting rates. But I mean, as of right now, it stands. It looks really good.
Yep.
Refinances are coming in. We got refinances. We're still mostly purchase business, which I love that. I mean,
sure,
refis are great, but who doesn't like helping get somebody into a house? Still a lot of first-time home buyers that are out there. We got multiple people, and I'm not going to drop names because that'd be inappropriate. But we got multiple people that you take a look at their bank statement. They're eating out 3 times a day. In addition to that, they're getting Starbucks coffees, which let's say $10, right? You're eating out at $20 a meal. That's $60 a day plus $10 in coffee, so that's $70 a day. So if you were to save that money, just maybe even go buy Top Ramen for a year, save up some money. That's $20,000 over the course of 365 days.
Yep. It might be helpful.
Maybe.
I mean, I do deal with numbers all day, but even if I didn't, that sounds like it would be helpful.
Right.
So,
I mean, the majority of people, I know what I spend my money on, and that's food. So But
I think that's part of it too, and that's a kind of an offhand comment. But the big thing is, a lot of people don't know what they spend their money on.
Right.
Like when you look at, when we go through, statements, when we go through credit reports, when we're looking at this person's financial standing in their life, like they don't know where everything's going. They don't know how much money's slipping through the cracks that's keeping them from being able to save money for a down payment,
right?
Afford more of a payment. I mean, even if the down payment for whatever reason is out of reach for a while, and you just want to jump on something, being able to handle a monthly payment more than you think you can simply by tidying up your monthly spending. I mean, if you have 3 credit cards that are maxed out, and now you got to make $100, $200, $300 a month payment there, that's $300 a month that's not going and not available towards a mortgage.
Right. Accessibility. I mean, I know obviously cost of living is going up.
Sure.
If you take a look and tighten up budget, or at least know where your money's going, you can cut out a lot of different things.
Yep. I
mean, my family uses the Mint app. I know that you have a similar situation too, and then Tyler too. I mean, we all take a look at where our money goes.
Yep.
Like, I know how much money I'm spending on food. I know how much money I have to bring in to be,
right,
basically breaking even. But I mean, then I also know, like, hey, I have a budget of a couple $100s to take my wife out to dinner this month, and that's what I'm going to do. But it's not like an everyday thing. So a lot of the times what we've been seeing is, when taking a look at people's bank statements and they say, well, I don't have money, or my credit cards are maxed out, I need to lower my DTI. There's a lot of things that you can cut back that are not essential to them, where you can apply that to pay off the credit card. Now your DTI is lower. Now you can qualify for more. Now you have money for down payment.
Yep.
Or even the biggest thing, I'll even tell people, because like the down payment assistance programs that we offer are awesome programs.
Sure.
But they're also specifically geared towards people that are going to have a lower DTI for qualification, debt to income ratio. So, I mean, even if you like, if the immediate plan was, hey, I'm going to pay off my credit cards and I still want to buy a house, or hey, I want to pay off my loans and still buy a house, we can do that.
Yep.
Through the programs that have been made available to us. Plus, I mean, an interest rate of 3.375 on down payment assistance, that's awesome.
Yep.
It's lower than even some of our traditional products. So, I mean, there's stuff that's available to the people that look for it. And so one of the things that we're seeing is, if you were to just take a look at even a little bit of your finances and tighten those line items up, you're going to have the money saved to pay off a credit card, pay off a debt, qualify for much more of a house.
Yeah. And it comes back to the principle too. And a lot of us, especially in today's society and today's mindset, is we're not willing to take this. We want everything now.
Right.
We want it up front. So when we look at, let's try and get $20,000 together for a down payment or for, whatever it is, we see this number and it's like, I can't do that.
Right.
Rather than seeing $5 here, $10 there, 50, and putting the goal, but ultimately taking the little steps to get there and trusting the process. That's where it goes.
Like two things. Would you say it's more delaying gratification, number one, and then number two, when you find your goal, working backwards, kind of like deconstructing your goal?
That's the biggest thing right
trying
there.
To always step forward and go from 1 to 100, step back and see what it really takes.
Right. I mean, I'll kind of go into that because that's how my mindset works.
Yeah.
For me, I see the end goal, but I don't necessarily, and you guys know
See
that.
how
I
to
mean,
get
you work
there.
with me every step of the way. But I mean, like for me, in my mindset, and I feel like what a lot of people have to, is that they see the end goal, they just don't know what are the steps that I need to take to get there.
Yep.
So, when you set that goal, if it's monetary, like the monetary thing is to take a look at what you're actually spending your money on. Mm-hmm. Maybe don't go to Starbucks and get your $5 drink. Maybe you make coffee. For me, it costs $6 for a pound of coffee. And I got my coffee maker. I drink that every day. I don't necessarily need a $5 drink.
Yep.
So there's a lot of different ways that you can cut back. And I think that, a lot of people, they take a look at like the aesthetics of things. And yeah, it's cool to have, to walk in to work with your coffee or with everything else. But
it's a willingness to adjust your lifestyle for a season.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's we get caught up, especially in our area, of deserving a certain lifestyle and thinking like, I can shop here, I can buy this, I can have this and this, and in reality, like, just for a year, for 6 months, whatever it is, cut back to something that is sufficient and not elaborate. Like, you don't need the $500 a month car. The $200 a month car gets you there just the same, right? You might not look as cool, but it gets you there, and there's $300 a month that is going towards,
probably more than that with the cost of insurance.
right? Right. And that's another thing too, we don't think about,
Cost of
right?
ownership.
We don't think like, okay, I want this car. Well, new car has more insurance, more insurance, depending on what type you're going now, gas is going to change. So it's like those extra costs we don't always think about, because we're not keeping things in perspective of our ultimate goal. It's like, what are your goals? Like, if your goal is to look cool in a car and, rent and do whatever, then fine, do it. But if you want to get into a house and you want to keep the same job, then you got to find it somewhere, right?
No, exactly. So I have another question since we're coming into the season. So for people to kind of ponder on, there still are people. I did an open house recently and other things like that, right? But anyways, a lot of people are still on the fence. They say, well, the market's at the top. Even though interest rates are lower, I still want to wait for housing prices to go down because then my purchase power will be higher, or whatever it is. What would you say is the biggest reason? Because a lot of experts I've talked to, or that we've researched, say that rates are going to be lower in the next 12 months as well, right?
Right.
So having that said, with the rates still going lower, but then expecting house prices, why would it still be a good time to buy now rather than wait for a year?
Well, in my professional opinion, when you see rates go lower, that also means home prices are going to continue to raise, right? So I'm going to take a step back. Yeah. Last year, rates got higher. What happened to the housing prices? they got lower.
Oh, sorry, you said higher. Eventually, I'll
wrong,
listen.
wrong thumb.
Eventually.
It is still dots and squiggles.
Dots and squiggles, but that's okay. We've come a long way from dots and squiggles.
It's just squiggles now.
No, it's just squiggles. So, but I mean,
Yeah, rates went
there
up,
has to be that
prices down.
offset, right? So if you start seeing interest rates go up, then that means higher payments, and that's something that a lot of people aren't willing or to afford or pay.
Yeah.
So how do you offset that? You have to look for lower prices. So typically, as things start to adjust, in my opinion, with the way the interest rates are now is a really good time to buy, to get into a house.
Yep.
Because what's going to happen down the road is I think that you're actually going to be attributing more and more towards the growth, the continual growth of the community. I'm gonna take a look at two of the deals that we have right now are a refinance where the person's FHA, they have 85% utilization
Yep.
on their house, or excuse me, out their loan to values at 85%, but now they're going to prepay their MI. MI is now prepaid. Now they no longer have mortgage insurance. Now they switch from an FHA loan to a conventional product, which overall is a much better product. And they were able to buy it 2 years ago with only 3.5% down.
Right.
So you keep building equity
Yep.
in your property. Now your mortgage payment's going a lot lower. So
And that's
I think that's a win-win. in that
definitely, and that's
situation.
kind of what I was saying before. Like if you do the math on how much you're going to pay in rent,
right.
not building equity,
Mm-hmm.
effectively paying 100% interest, that same amount of money could be going into your own mortgage, paying and building equity.
Right.
All right, so like you're gonna, and you might save. Say the market goes down a little bit, and the same house goes down in $10,000 in price, but you just spent $18,000 in rent.
Right.
So what's the, like, where's the benefit then? At what point?
$2,000 a
in-
month in rent is $24,000 a year,
Yeah,
which is going to somebody else's investment.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. It's so as we say, and many of our partners say, if it makes sense and you can make it work for your budget, it's a good time to buy.
right.
That's the bottom line. If it makes sense for you, budget wise, do it. Rates, home prices, always going to be fluctuating. It's all for the most part always a guessing game. If you want to gamble
And
and
if
play
you-
it, do it. But if the budget works, just get into something. You
And if
never
your
know what's going to happen.
fixed interest rate is 3%. I mean, when I started in the industry, the lowest that I was quoting was about 3.25%.
Yep.
Then it translated to basically last year, which was 5.5% on even some of the different transactions that we were doing. Now we're back down in the threes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think of it like like my parents bought their first house.
Yep.
They're paying a 13% interest rate.
I was just going to say, go back to the 90s and the 80s, and
We'll
you're
go
paying.
back to a 13% interest
Yep.
rate, right? So now is definitely the best time to buy, especially when you're not factoring in a variable interest rate. If you're 30 years fixed at 3.5, 3.65, absolutely makes 100% worth.
Yep.
It's 100% worth it to do something.
And even if it means not getting exactly what you want right away, because I mean, I think of one example that just talking to a guy where they, bought something smaller, basically starter home, wasn't in the ideal area, wasn't the ideal home, but it was, 3-5 years later, market goes up. Now they sell, walk away with $100,000, put
Right.
that towards their, potential forever home,
Exactly.
and they're on their own. Like, so don't put everything off waiting for your perfect home and miss out on some opportunities before.
Yeah, there's plenty of opportunity out there. I mean, especially when you take a look at just kind of like what you said, the house that we bought it probably a year after we should have bought it, but we still got into the game at a relatively good time. We built up from putting 3.5% down our payment where we were freaking out about it at the time. Then, you find a way to make that payment.
Yep.
Right. Then refinance, lower the payment, essentially $600 a month. Now we're in a much more comfortable position.
Yep.
And you built up $100,000 in equity. It's not a
Imagine
bad
that.
situation.
Imagine that.
So
Well, I've enjoyed this season. Looking
have too.
forward to our next
we've had
wave.
fun, man. We've had a lot of fun.
Dude, it's only getting better.
Yep.
We're getting more power partners together, more people to introduce you all to, and it's gonna be.
If you guys have
Good.
not already taken a look at it, if you are in the area and you would like free golf lessons,
I mean, I don't want to toot our own horn or anything, but we do have a free lesson every other Wednesday
Every
for
other Wednesday
our partners.
from former teaching professionals converted to mortgage superstars.
So yes, any of our business partners, realtors, real estate industry, whatever, come on out every other Wednesday, 4 p.m. Marietta Valley Golf Range.
Plus, Daniel really
Free
likes
golf
to talk to people.
lessons, free golf balls. Huh?
I was gonna say, plus Daniel really likes to talk to people on the phone. So if you just want somebody to talk to for like an hour, you're more than welcome to call Daniel.
right.
He'll talk to you for an hour.
That's right. If you need any counseling, give me a call.
Right. So, well, Daniel, I mean, I could tell you too, because you've come on board. You've been in the industry since January. You're still relatively new, but I mean, I could see your growth. You've grown substantially from that period of time. Come from, again, our video of dots and squiggles to.
If you haven't seen it, go see. Go
If you
watch
haven't
it.
seen Dots and Squiggles video, go watch Dots and Squiggles. But I mean, I know what you are going to do in the business. I know you're going to. That's one of the reasons why I basically went after.
That's why you wanted to be on the team.
That's why I wanted him for so long, because I know the type of person that Daniel is, and I know what he's going to be able to accomplish too. So I know what you already have accomplished. So
At least one of us does.
one of us does. But no, again, I appreciate you being on my team. I appreciate you being my co-host for season 1. Thank God we got renewed for season 2.
It was going to be close.
It was really close. Came down to a couple executive producers' decision, but we ended up making it through. So again, thank you. Appreciate it. And
I'm
looking forward to continuing to
Stoked
dominate in
for more to
2019.
come. Excited to be on the team and
I'm going to
running
dominate
hard.
2020 too.
heck yeah.
So signing off from our podcast, I'm Jonathan Farrell.
I'm Daniel Garcia.
And we're the two mortgage guys.
Peace out.
Peace out.